My name is Laurel Simmons. I am 34 years old. And for 2 years and 8 months I thought the reason we could never get ahead financially was me. My spending. My choices. My inability to manage things correctly. I went over our budget every single month. I cut things I loved. I stopped going to the salon. I stopped buying new clothes. I meal prepped on Sundays and tracked every grocery dollar and told myself that if I was just more disciplined, more careful, more precise, eventually the numbers would start to make sense. They never did. The night I found out why, sitting alone at our kitchen table at 11:45 on a Tuesday with my husband's laptop open in front of me and 3 years of hidden bank transfers on the screen, was the night everything I thought I understood about my marriage stopped being true. What happened next? What my husband said when I confronted him. And what I found when I started pulling on the thread that began with those transfers is something I could not have predicted when I sat down at that table. If you are new here, please subscribe right now and drop your country and local time in the comments below. I read every single one. Now let me take you back to where this really started. I met my husband James at 26 at a work conference in Denver. He was in sales. I was in project management. We talked for 3 hours at a networking dinner, and by the end of it I had completely forgotten there were other people in the room. James was the kind of man who made everything feel lighter. Not in a superficial way. In the specific way of someone who has decided that life is something to be moved through with energy rather than endured. He laughed easily. He made friends within minutes of meeting people. He had a warmth that I had not encountered before in someone I was also genuinely attracted to. We dated long distance for 8 months. He was in Phoenix, I was in Nashville, before he relocated and we moved in together. We got engaged a year after that. Married 6 months later in a small ceremony in the Tennessee hills that cost exactly what we could afford and was, genuinely, one of the best days of my life. I want to say that clearly because I want you to understand that what I am about to tell you is not the story of a bad marriage. It is the story of a good marriage with a very serious secret inside it. James came from a large family in New Mexico. His mother Rosa had raised 5 children largely alone after his father left when James was 11. His older brothers had moved away and built their own lives with varying degrees of contact with the family. His younger sisters were still in Albuquerque, one in college, one working, one with 2 small children and a husband who struggled with consistent employment. James talked about his family with love and a specific kind of weight that I recognized as the weight of someone who has always felt responsible for things that were not entirely his responsibility. In the first year of our marriage he sent money home occasionally. Not regularly. A few $100s here and there when something came up. His sister's car broke down. His mother's heating system needed repair. I knew about these transfers. We talked about them. I was not opposed to helping his family when we could. When we could. The financial tightness started in year 2. Not dramatically. Just persistently. Month after month the numbers were closer than they should have been given our combined income. We both had stable jobs. We did not live extravagantly. We had a mortgage that was manageable, 1 car payment, reasonable utility bills. And yet every month we ended up with almost nothing left. I brought it up to James the first time around month 8 of year 2. Gently. I showed him the spreadsheet I had been keeping. I asked if there was something I was missing. He looked at the spreadsheet carefully. He said he thought we were just in a tight period. That it would ease up. That maybe we could look at refinancing the mortgage in the spring. I believed him. I went back to my spreadsheet and looked for more places to cut. I cut more. The numbers still did not make sense. By year 3 I had stopped buying anything for myself that was not essential. I had cancelled my gym membership. I had stopped meeting friends for dinner because I could not justify the expense. I was tired in the specific way of someone who has been managing scarcity for a long time without understanding why the scarcity exists. James seemed fine. He was warm and present and loving, and when I brought up the money, he was always reassuring. Always had an explanation. The economy. The mortgage rate adjustment. The cost of groceries going up. All true things. All real factors. All completely insufficient to explain the gap I kept finding every single month. The Tuesday night I am telling you about started ordinarily. James had gone to bed early. He had left his laptop on the kitchen counter because he had been working from home that day and had not put it away. I was finishing a cup of tea. I was going to close the laptop and go to bed. I do not entirely know what made me open it instead. I think it was exhaustion. The specific exhaustion of someone who has been trying to solve a problem for 2 years without all the information and has finally reached the point where they need to stop being careful and start being direct. I opened the laptop. His email was open. He had been logged in. I was not looking for anything specific. I want to be honest about that. I was not suspicious in any concrete way. I was just tired. And the laptop was open. And I was sitting there. The first thing I saw was an email thread with the subject line that included his mother's name. I read it. Then I read it again. Then I opened the associated bank account that was linked through the email. It was an account I had not known existed. In James's name only. With a separate debit card I had never seen. 3 years of transaction history. The transfers were consistent. Every month without exception from the first month of our marriage. Not hundreds of dollars. Thousands. Between $1,500 and $2,200 every single month for 32 months. I sat at that table and did the math. Over 3 years James had transferred approximately $60,000 to his family without telling me. $60,000. While I was cutting my gym membership and tracking grocery receipts and telling myself I just needed to be more disciplined. I sat with that number for a very long time. I did not cry. I want to be clear about that because I think people expect that moment to be explosive, and it was not. It was very quiet. It was the specific quiet of something large and structural giving way internally. Not dramatic. Just foundational. I closed the laptop. I finished my tea. I went to bed. I lay beside my husband in the dark and listened to him breathe and thought about 32 months of Sunday budget sessions and cancelled plans and the specific shame of feeling like I was the problem. I did not sleep. In the morning James got up before me. I heard him in the kitchen making coffee. I heard the familiar sounds of our ordinary morning. I got dressed. I went to the kitchen. I sat down at the table. I said, I need you to tell me about the account. He went completely still at the counter. He did not turn around for a moment. Then he turned around. He looked at me. And his face did something I had not seen from him before. It did not go defensive. It did not go angry. It collapsed. Just structurally. From the inside. He sat down across from me. He said, "How long have you known?" "Since last night," I said. He put his face in his hands. What came out over the next 3 hours was this. From the moment we got married, James had felt the weight of his family's financial situation as his responsibility. His mother was behind on her mortgage. His sister with the young children was struggling every month. His other sister was putting herself through college on student loans that terrified her. He had tried to talk to me about it once, early in our marriage, and I had said that we needed to be careful about what we could commit to given our own expenses. I had said it thoughtfully. I had said it with his family's well-being in mind as well as ours. He had heard it as, "I will not help them." He had not told me. He had opened a separate account. He had been sending money every month. He had watched me cut and budget and stress and said nothing because he did not know how to tell me the truth without losing something he was not willing to lose. He did not know, he said, what I would do if I found out. What did you think I would do? I asked. He was quiet for a long time. Leave, he said finally. Or make me choose. I sat with that for a long moment. Then I said, James, I need you to hear something. He looked at me. I would never have asked you to stop helping your family. I would have asked you to talk to me about it so we could figure it out together. There is a difference between those two things, and you chose to manage it alone instead of trusting me with it. That is what I am sitting with right now. Not the money. The decision to hide it from me for 3 years. He was crying by then. Quietly. The way people cry when they have been carrying something for a very long time and someone has finally named the exact shape of it. I know, he said. I know. I asked him to show me everything. Every transfer. Every conversation with his family about the money. Every detail he had kept from me. He showed me everything. It took most of the day. What I found when I looked at the full picture was more complicated than I had expected. His mother's mortgage was now current because of his transfers. She would likely have lost the house without them. His sister had graduated college debt-free because James had covered her final 2 years of tuition. His other sister's children had school supplies and winter coats and a functioning car because James had quietly made sure of it. He had not been spending the money on himself. He had not been hiding it for any reason other than the one he had told me. He had been afraid. Afraid that love, my love, had conditions attached to it that his family could not meet. That understanding did not erase the 3 years of hidden transfers. It did not erase the budget sessions where I blamed myself. It did not erase the gym membership or the dinners I had not attended or the specific shame of feeling like I was failing at something I was actually being prevented from solving. But it changed the shape of what I was dealing with. This was not a husband who had been stealing from me. This was a husband who had been so afraid of losing me that he had made a choice that risked losing me anyway. We went to couples therapy the following week. I want to be honest that the months after that conversation were not easy. Trust is not rebuilt in a week or a month. The therapy was hard. There were sessions where I was so angry I could barely look at him. There were sessions where he sat across from me with so much grief about what he had done that the therapist had to redirect us just to keep the conversation moving forward. But we stayed. Both of us. Every week. We stayed. 6 months into therapy, James had a direct conversation with his mother. He told her about what had happened. He told her that going forward any financial support from us would be discussed with me first, agreed on together, and given openly. He told her this not to remove the support but to change the structure of it. His mother called me the week after that conversation. She spoke for a long time. She told me she had not known about the hidden account. She told me that if she had known she would have refused the money. She told me she was sorry. Not for needing help, she had needed help, genuinely, and she was not sorry for that. But for the situation her son had created in trying to provide it. I believed her. She sounded like a woman who had spent her life doing the best she could with what she had and who was genuinely devastated to learn that her son had built a secret to protect her. It has been 1 year and 4 months since that Tuesday night. James and I are still married. Still in therapy, though less frequently now. The hidden account is closed. Our finances are completely transparent, one shared spreadsheet, both of us with access to everything, no exceptions. We send money to his family every month. An agreed amount. Discussed openly. Transferred together. His mother knows it comes from both of us. His sisters know it comes from both of us. It is not a large amount. But it is consistent. And it is honest. James told me 6 months ago that the thing he regrets most is not the transfers themselves. It is every Sunday morning I sat at that table going over numbers that did not add up and blamed myself. He said he would spend a long time making that right. He has been making it right. Slowly. Carefully. In the way that real repair works, not in grand gestures but in consistent small true things done over time. I think about that Tuesday night sometimes. About the open laptop. About sitting down at the table with a cup of tea intending to close it. I think about the $60,000. About the 32 months. About the gym membership I canceled and the dinners I did not go to and the quiet shame of believing I was the problem. And then I think about what James said when I asked him what he had been afraid of. Leave. Or make me choose. He had been so afraid of losing me that he had nearly lost me anyway. And in protecting that fear he had taken something from me, my ability to know the truth of my own life, that I am still, in some quiet ways, in the process of getting back. But I am getting it back. And he is here. Doing the work. Every day. That is not nothing. That is, in fact, everything I need it to be right now. Before you go, I want to ask you something. Have you ever discovered that someone you trusted had been making decisions about your life without telling you? Have you ever sat with the difference between what someone did and why they did it, and had to figure out what to do with both of those things at once? Drop the word truth in the comments if this story reached something real in you. And if you are new here, subscribe. Every week I share stories about family, about marriage, about trust, and about the people who choose to do the hard work of staying. I will see you in the next one. Kayla's Dark Truth.